The shocking truth. Sonny's DNA revelation changes everything on General Hospital. The walls of Port Charles are about to crumble under the weight of a devastating secret that threatens to tear apart everything Sonny Corinthos thought he knew about his past. In recent episodes of General Hospital, viewers have witnessed an unexpected chemistry brewing between mob kingpin Sonny Corinthos and the tenacious Assistant District Attorney Justine Turner. What started as professional animosity during Turner's relentless pursuit of Sonny's prosecution has slowly transformed into something far more complex and emotionally charged. But beneath the surface of their verbal sparring and stolen glances lies a truth so shocking that it will forever alter both of their lives. Sonny's growing curiosity about the enigmatic prosecutor will soon lead him down a path of investigation that culminates in the most devastating discovery of his long and tumultuous life. Justine Turner is his daughter. The seeds of suspicion. The transformation in Sonny's behavior toward Ada Turner hasn't gone unnoticed by Port Charles residents or General Hospital fans. Where once there was pure antagonism, there's now an undercurrent of protective instinct that Sonny himself doesn't fully understand. The mob boss, known for his explosive reactions to law enforcement officials who threaten his empire, finds himself inexplicably drawn to Turner in ways that defy logic. It begins with small moments that seem insignificant at first glance. During a recent softball game injury, Sonny's immediate concern for Turner's well-being surprises everyone, including himself. His insistence on personally ensuring she receives proper medical care, despite their adversarial relationship, raises eyebrows throughout Port Charles. Even more puzzling is his request for a different nurse to treat Turner at General Hospital, a move that leaves both medical staff and family members questioning his motives. These protective instincts trigger something deep within Sonny's psyche. Having fathered multiple children throughout his years in Port Charles, Dante, Michael, Christina, Morgan, Avery, and Donna, Sonny has developed an acute sensitivity to familial connections. There's something about Turner's mannerisms, her fierce determination, and even her physical features that haunts him with a sense of déjà vu he can't shake. The investigation begins. Unable to ignore his growing suspicions, Sonny embarks on a clandestine investigation into Turner's background. Drawing upon his extensive network of contacts and resources, he begins piecing together fragments of her past with the methodical precision that has kept him at the top of Port Charles' criminal hierarchy for decades. What he discovers sends shockwaves through his carefully constructed world. Turner's mother, a woman Sonny knew intimately during his younger years, emerges as a ghost from his past. The revelation hits him like a physical blow. Memories of passionate nights and whispered promises come flooding back, along with the painful realization of how their relationship ended. She was someone who mattered to him before his life became consumed by the mob world, before the violence and betrayal that would come to define his existence. The timeline aligns with terrifying precision. Turner's age, her birth date, even certain personality traits that mirror his own children. Everything points to an impossible truth that Sonny desperately wants to deny. But denial has never been a luxury he could afford in his dangerous world, where overlooking details often means the difference between life and death. The secret DNA test. Consumed by the need for absolute certainty, Sonny makes the decision that will change everything forever. Using his connections within Port Charles' medical community, he arranges for a covert DNA test. The process requires careful orchestration, obtaining Turner's genetic material without her knowledge while maintaining the secrecy necessary to protect both of them from the devastating consequences of the truth. The days waiting for results stretch like an eternity for Sonny, the man who has faced down rival mob families, survived countless assassination attempts, and weathered the storms of his turbulent personal life finds himself paralyzed by anticipation. Sleep becomes elusive as his mind races through scenarios and their potential ramifications. How does one process the possibility that they've been unknowingly engaging in legal warfare with their own child? During this period of uncertainty, Sonny's behavior toward Turner becomes even more erratic. Colleagues notice his reluctance to take aggressive action against the prosecutor, who has been making his life increasingly difficult. Jason Morgan, his longtime friend and enforcer, questions Sonny's uncharacteristic restraint when dealing with someone who poses such a significant threat to their operations. The results, when they finally arrive, confirm Sonny's worst fears and deepest hopes simultaneously. The DNA match is conclusive. Justine Turner is indeed his biological daughter. The scientific certainty of the laboratory report transforms speculation into devastating reality. leaving Sonny to grapple with the profound implications of this discovery. The weight of truth. Armed with this knowledge, Sonny finds himself trapped in an impossible situation. Every instinct screams at him to reach out to Turner, to somehow bridge the chasm that years of separation and ignorance have created between them. Yet he also recognizes the catastrophic potential of this revelation. Turner has built her career on a foundation of justice and legal integrity, dedicating herself to prosecuting the very criminals that Sonny represents. Learning that her biological father is the mob boss she's been trying to destroy would shatter her world completely. The irony isn't lost on Sonny that his daughter has inherited his own fierce determination and unwavering principles, traits that have put them on opposite sides of an escalating conflict. In Turner's relentless pursuit of justice, he sees echoes of his own single-minded focus, the same intensity that has driven him to the pinnacle of Port Charles' criminal underworld. She possesses the Corinthos fire, the same passion that burns within all of his children, though channeled toward dramatically different ends. As Sonny observes Turner from this new perspective, he begins to notice details that were previously invisible to him. The way she tilts her head when concentrating mirrors Christina's mannerisms. Her explosive temper during heated courtroom exchanges reminds him of his own volcanic reactions when cornered. Even her strategic thinking, the careful way she builds cases against her targets, reflects the tactical mind that has kept Sonny alive and thriving in his dangerous profession. The mother's identity revealed. The investigation into Turner's parentage also forces Sonny to confront painful memories of her mother, a woman whose significance in his life he had gradually buried under layers of violence and criminal enterprise. She was someone he cared for deeply during a pivotal period of his youth. Before the full weight of his chosen path became clear, their relationship ended not through betrayal or animosity, but through the terrible recognition that Sonny's world would destroy anyone who remained close to him. What Sonny never knew was that she was carrying his child when they parted ways, whether she deliberately concealed the pregnancy to protect their unborn daughter from Sonny's dangerous lifestyle, or whether circumstances simply prevented her from sharing this crucial information, remains a mystery that adds another layer of tragedy to the revelation. The woman who might have provided answers has long since passed away, taking her secrets to the grave and leaving both Sonny and Turner to navigate this shocking discovery without her guidance. The realization that he missed his daughter's entire childhood, her first steps, her school achievements, her formative experiences, fills Sonny with a grief deeper than any he has previously experienced. Unlike his other children, whom he was able to watch grow and influence through their development, Turner became the person she is today, completely independent of his presence or knowledge. She chose her path toward law enforcement and prosecution through her own moral compass, making her dedication to justice even more remarkable and heartbreaking from Sonny's perspective. The impossible dilemma. Now possessing the truth that Turner is his daughter, Sonny faces the most complex emotional challenge of his life. Every interaction with her takes on new significance. Every legal maneuver she makes against him becomes a painful reminder of the impossible position they both occupy. The prosecutorial zeal that once annoyed him now fills him with pride. His daughter is brilliant, fearless, and absolutely committed to her principles. Yet those same admirable qualities make her his greatest threat. The paternal instincts that have driven Sonny's relationships with his other children war against his survival instincts and business necessities. How can he protect a daughter who has dedicated her career to destroying him? How can he maintain his criminal empire while simultaneously wanting to ensure her safety and success? The internal conflict threatens to tear him apart as he struggles to reconcile his love for Turner with the reality of their opposing positions. Meanwhile, Turner continues her aggressive prosecution of Sonny's organization, unaware that each legal victory cuts deeper into her father's heart. Her professional triumphs become personal tragedies for Sonny, who watches his daughter excel at the very activities designed to bring about his downfall. The pride he feels in her accomplishments conflicts with the practical necessity of defending himself against her attacks. The transformation. Knowledge of Turner's true identity begins to fundamentally alter Sonny's approach to their conflict. Where once he might have responded to her legal challenges with characteristic ruthlessness, he now finds himself seeking ways to minimize collateral damage that might affect her career or reputation. His typically aggressive defensive strategies give way to more subtle approaches, designed to protect both his interests and his daughter's future. This shift doesn't go unnoticed by Sonny's associates and enemies alike. Rival criminal organizations begin to question whether the legendary Sonny Corinthos is losing his edge. While law enforcement officials wonder why someone known for his explosive reactions has become unusually restrained when dealing with ADA Turner's prosecutions, the speculation and whispered conversations throughout Port Charles create an atmosphere of uncertainty that threatens to destabilize the carefully maintained balance of power that Sonny has spent decades establishing. The emotional toll of maintaining the secret while continuing to interact with Turner in their professional capacities pushes Sonny to his psychological limits. Every conversation with her becomes an exercise in careful control, as he fights the urge to reveal the truth or to somehow provide her with the guidance and protection that any father would want to offer his daughter. The weight of unspoken words and unexpressed emotions builds with each encounter, creating an almost unbearable tension that threatens to explode at any moment. Looking forward, as this devastating secret continues to simmer beneath the surface of Port Charles' daily dramas, viewers can anticipate explosive developments that will reshape the fundamental dynamics of General Hospital's ongoing storylines. The revelation of Turner's parentage promises to create ripple effects that will impact not only Sonny and Turner themselves, but every major character connected to the Corinthos family network. The question of whether Turner will ever learn the truth about her biological father looms large over future storylines. Will Sonny find the courage to reveal their connection, risking the destruction of Turner's carefully constructed worldview and potentially driving her away forever? Or will circumstances force the revelation upon them both, creating chaos that neither can control or predict? The complexity of their situation offers endless possibilities for dramatic development. Turner's reaction to learning that she shares DNA with the man she has been trying to prosecute could range from complete rejection and horror to a gradual understanding of the impossible position they both occupy. The professional and personal conflicts inherent in their relationship promise months of compelling television, as both characters struggle to navigate uncharted emotional territory. As General Hospital continues to explore this devastating family secret, viewers can expect the kind of emotionally charged storytelling that has made the show a daytime television institution for over 6 decades. The revelation that Sonny Corinthos and Ada Justine Turner are father and daughter represents exactly the kind of shocking twist that keeps audiences invested in the complex web of relationships that define Port Charles, ensuring that the repercussions of this discovery will continue to drive compelling storylines for years to come. Next, we will dive deep into the electrifying fan theory swirling around Brad Cooper's potential role in helping Britt Westbourne stage her dramatic death back in January 2023 at the hands of Heather Weber's infamous poisoned hook. This speculation has ignited passionate discussions across social media platforms, with viewers piecing together clues from recent episodes that suggest Britt isn't truly gone, but is instead thriving in a secretive existence overseas. Imagine the shockwaves if it turns out her closest ally, Brad, was the mastermind behind this elaborate deception, using his expertise to shield her from the grim progression of Huntington's disease. As we unpack this theory, we'll explore the intricate web of motives, hidden agendas, and potential fallout that could reshape relationships in Port Charles forever. From Britt's unexpected survival in a sun-drenched Croatian hideaway to Brad's shadowy history of schemes, fans are buzzing with possibilities that blend heartfelt loyalty with treacherous twists. Let's break it down step by step, adding fresh insights into how this plot might unfold and what it means for the characters we love. First off, the revelation that Britt Westbourne is very much alive has sent ripples through the General Hospital fandom, confirming long-held suspicions that her demise was nothing more than a cleverly orchestrated illusion. She's been spotted living in a lavish villa along the Adriatic coast in Croatia, surrounded by opulent amenities like private beaches and gourmet chefs. Yet her freedom seems oddly restricted by an enigmatic overseer who dictates her daily routines. For instance, in a recent teaser, we saw her yearning for a night out exploring local cuisine, only to be confined to her suite with a curt order, highlighting the gilded cage she's trapped in. However, a surprising development granted her clearance for international travel, perhaps hinting at shifting alliances or a loosening grip from her mysterious handler. This setup fuels the theory that Brad Cooper, her steadfast best friend from their tumultuous days in Port Charles, played a pivotal role in faking her death. Fans imagine him slipping into the hospital's pharmacology lab late at night, concocting a non-lethal serum to mimic the effects of Heather's poison, allowing Britt to collapse convincingly in her mother Liesel Obrich's arms without any real harm. This act of deception, they argue, was born from Brad's deep-seated affection, aiming to grant Britt a fresh start away from the inevitable decline of her Huntington's diagnosis. But as we delve deeper, questions arise. Was this purely an act of compassion? Or does it mask a more calculated play, inventing new layers? Perhaps Brad enlisted the help of an underground network of medical contacts he cultivated during his time as a lab technician, ensuring the ruse was airtight with forged documents and a staged autopsy report that fooled even the sharpest investigators in town. The debate over Brad's involvement in Britt's escape has fans crafting elaborate scenarios, especially after Jason Morgan's fleeting encounter with her in Paris solidified that she's not resting in peace but plotting her next move. Picture this: Britt's supposed final moments, cradled by a grief-stricken Liesel, appeared irreversible. Yet theorists point to Brad's insider access at General Hospital as the key to pulling off the switcheroo. With his background in handling sensitive pharmaceuticals, he could have easily replaced Heather's deadly toxin with a benign compound that induced temporary paralysis, mimicking death long enough for Britt to be whisked away under the cover of chaos. This loyalty stems from their unbreakable bond, forged through shared heartbreaks like Britt's romantic woes and Brad's custody battles, motivating him to spare her family the agony of watching her suffer. Adding inventive details, maybe Brad even coordinated with a discreet team of actors posing as medical personnel to stage the scene, complete with falsified vital signs and a hidden escape route through the hospital's rarely used service tunnels. Yet, skepticism lingers. Could Brad's sudden departure from Port Charles a few months back be linked to this plot? Fans speculate he vanished to tie up loose ends in Europe, perhaps establishing safe houses or monitoring Britt's new life from afar. However, this raises eyebrows about whether his help is selfless or if it conceals a darker intent, like using her vulnerability to advance his own ambitions in a world rife with corporate espionage and personal vendettas. Beneath the surface of this intriguing theory lurks a hidden motive that could complicate everything, prompting us to scrutinize Brad's actions through a lens of suspicion. It wouldn't have been a stretch for him to access General Hospital's secure lab after hours, blending chemicals to create an antidote that neutralized the Hook's poison just in time. But let's expand on this. What if Brad's involvement ties into a broader conspiracy, such as the shadowy tech empire orchestrated by Professor Henry Hank Dalton, whose innovations in medical devices might offer experimental treatments for conditions like Huntington's? Inventing a fresh angle, perhaps Brad struck a deal with Dalton's operatives, exchanging his assistance in Britt's escape for insider knowledge or financial backing to rebuild his life post-divorce from Lucas Jones. Liesel Obrecht, still mourning what she believes is her daughter's genuine loss, could unleash a storm of fury if she discovers Brad's deception, potentially allying with old foes to expose him. Detailed analysis reveals the fragility Brad's secret might hold for now, but cracks could form if Britt's handler, revealed in fan theories as a rogue geneticist with ties to the WSB, demands repayment that forces Brad to betray her. Would he really flip on his best friend after years of unwavering support? The thought is chilling, especially considering how this leverage could give Brad power over Britt's future, turning their friendship into a tool for manipulation in Port Charles' cutthroat landscape. Ultimately, pondering whether Brad's secret will safeguard Britt or lead to her downfall invites us to weigh the scales of redemption against self-interest. If he indeed engineered her fake death, it could shield her from the heartbreaking physical toll of Huntington's, allowing her to embrace a life of adventure in exotic locales, perhaps even pursuing experimental therapies abroad that Port Charles couldn't provide. Yet, his own agenda might emerge as a wild card, introducing unforeseen dangers like rival factions hunting her down for her family's secrets. Recall Brad's checkered past. He bolted from Port Charles after squeezing extortion money from Drew Quartermain over corporate intel and blackmailing Portia Robinson about her hidden paternity scandal, actions that paint him as someone who hasn't fully shed his manipulative ways. Despite this, his lingering affection for ex-husband Lucas Jones suggests a capacity for genuine care, leaving fans optimistic that his bond with Britt remains pure. Inventing an expanded scenario. Imagine Brad resurfacing in Croatia to warn her of impending threats from Heather Weber's lingering allies, proving his loyalty in a high-stakes rescue. General Hospital enthusiasts are divided. Will Brad betray Britt after all this time, or step up as her ultimate protector? As episodes unfold, this theory adds layers of suspense, reminding us why we tune in for the drama. What are your thoughts? Share in the comments below, and stay tuned for more spoilers.